He's on. John McClane's here. Brilliant. He has been issues. That's what we got.
I jumped out of the shower and then this poxy iPad started wanting me to put new passwords in and stuff. So
it's all that Pornhub stuff that you've been on, isn't it, mate? Right, boys and girls, welcome to TMA Sunday Night Live, Pornhub exceptions. This is the podcast where you choose the topics, we will discuss them. As always, I'm joined by the young man, Daniel Dean, birthday boy as well. Happy birthday, mate, as well, while we're on here. He's 26 years old, so happy birthday, mate.
Definitely a young man.
The man, the myth, and the legend, Mr. Dino.
Thank you.
He scores hat-tricks every week and not just against Richie. So
yep. Scored another one this week, by the way.
I know, it's getting ridiculous now, mate. You actually need to play against goalkeepers now, mate, honestly. And Canadian Darren as well, mate. You all right? Fresh water as well.
Happy new season, boys. Indeed.
Teetotal.
Well, it's all about...
That's it, mate. Absolutely right. Just before we get on, just big shout out to Neil O'Connor. He says, great game yesterday. See you Saturday, mate. Lucy's saying, hey. Mr. Power Jugs, evening all. Stuart, bonjour, boys. Did I miss the word porno? Possibly, mate. But we'll confirm that later. we love a good scene. Right, okay. So we'll get. Oh, very nice on a Sunday.
Indeed.
Oh, it's all happening now, I tell you. Jesus. Right. God, I've lost me bloody things now. Right, here we go. Right, okay, let's get on with the topic straight away, boys and girls. Like I said, if we get any all your comments through, any other topics, if we've got enough time, we'll read them out. So let's get straight on with it. Right, okay, so first fan topics from Dan. Cheers, Dan. He says that a lack of spending compared to Indonesia seems to show Pozzo's one out. Lack of interest in share scheme seems to show we're not attractive investment. Where do we go from here? Birthday boy, Ozan, how do you feel, mate?
I don't know where we go from here. It's worrying. And I think someone said since we never got the permission to build that new stadium, since then they've really lost interest. And I seem to think they've got a point there because they've lost major interest again in spending. You could see we still need to improve, even though that was a magnificent result yesterday. We can see we're still really flat and we're in 3 or 4 players still short, aren't we? And you know, I really don't know where we go from here. I still do trust them, but they are spending a lot of money on Udinese and nothing on us. And you know, it's frustrating me with another one. The one people put up me and Paul talked about it. Why we don't go and get this Cooper bloke from Leeds, who's a free. I think it'd be perfect for us for 2 years. Me and Paul were talking about it. At this level, it'd be like a guff cart level, and we can't even afford him, which is absolutely ridiculous. He's a free bloody transfer. He can't watch much more than 40 grand a week, surely, and surely some of our players are more than that. So I honestly, I can't tell you where we go. It's worrying at the moment, but hey ho, we got to put up with them until they sell. Really, it looks like they want to sell, but no one wants us at the moment. So it's very alarming at the moment. That's all I can say at the moment. It's very worrying.
Yeah.
Well, I agree. It is worrying. We don't know really what's going on. It's alarming. I've heard someone say to me today at the pre-season friendly for the women's. I can't divulge that information, unfortunately. But the lack of transfer activity is concerning. Again, it's concerning. I just have a feeling we're going to pull the rabbit out of the hat, and we'll probably get that Liam Cooper in the end. I think they're just playing hard to get. But Dino's right. We've lost player after player after player after player recently in the last couple of years. Okay, we had the big clear out, which was needed. That is no ifs, no buts about that one. We all said it. Everyone said it. But yeah, we do need some more reinforcements. We can't go through this season with that squad. It will get absolutely decimated. But the only good thing is we haven't got AFCON this year, so we ain't going to lose Kayembe in January, unless someone wants to buy him. Stuart, I don't think Asprey is going anywhere because no one, and I mean absolutely no one, is offering an offer. There's no club coming in for him at the minute. Yeah, and it's a bit like this Hoyt situation as well. It's strange how, and I've said this to other people, and a few of them have agreed with me. Others have said I don't know what I'm talking about, but the whole Hoyt story came straight out of Turkey. There was no British media picking that up, and they still haven't really picked it up, which makes me think that the Turks are just blowing it out of proportion because they've got nothing else to write about. So they're just going to keep banging on about Hoyt going. Okay, things might change in January if he hasn't signed a new deal. Then we might have to start worrying. But as far as I see it, I don't think he's going anywhere. Personally, if he does go, he does. But I just don't see it happening. But yeah, the Pozzos seem to have lost a heck of a lot of interest in us. You know, I thought their plan was going to be to get us back in the Prem to make us more lucrative to sell. But that now all seems to have fallen apart. And instead, they seem to be wanting to sell the squad and then telling clubs that there's hardly any money, which is more concerning because, you know, yet again, you've got to ask the question, what the hell happened to that money from last season that was promised to, who was it? I can't remember who our manager was.
God, yeah, who was it?
Yeah, whoever it was, he couldn't be bothered to spend it. And then I was under the impression that he was going to get given some of that money, and
That was
it
Val.
clearly hasn't happened.
Val was the coach.
That was it. That was him. But yeah, it's worrying, you know. And that share thing, that every fan said it. We're not going to get involved in it. We're paying more. Duxbury's getting more than 20 grand a week, mate. Trust me. He's bloody hell. He's on a lot of money. He's on a heck of a lot of money. You need to get. I'll tell you what. Someone needs to bump him off. I think. Saving grace.
I just realised, also change the subject, I just realised that no one was watching it on my personal profile. It was on bloody private, wasn't it?
Oh, dear God. Some twattery going on here.
StreamYard's a pain in the arse because it won't let me put on any on Twitter because you need to be premium now. You can't go on Facebook profiles anymore. No, on private groups now. It's just what StreamYard have done now, which is pain in the arse.
Well, it looks like, to be honest, Pete, so I know we've just completely come off subject here, but when I logged in tonight, it was only letting me log in through Chrome. Yet last year, I was logging in through Samsung Internet.
Yeah, it's weird.
So they swapped over, and I reckon all the privacy things have changed, and it's locked out.
Yeah,
you might have to have a little look. Yeah.
I think as well, what's happened as well is my Firefox. I run it through Firefox because it's quicker, and it's Chrome lets me share stuff, but Firefox pisses about, which is weird. But hey ho, it's on YouTube anyway, so that's the main one. But
so I'm just laughing at that comment. Anyone seen Duxbury?
If you can find out, Big Nelly. That would be absolutely brilliant, by the way. My question is, where and after his statement at the Vic smoke screen? Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Darren, mate, where do we go from here?
Sorry, mate.
You know, no, you're right, mate. No, because I was the one who changed subject.
Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, I really, unlike Dino, I do not trust the Pozzos anymore. You know, we all talk about the FA Cup final season and highest finished, and none of that was invested. And then for me, I really did lose lose belief in the leadership when they really did hang out. I know Duxbury gets a lot of grief, but when he said we will back Rob Edwards hell or high water, I believe he really meant that. And Pozzo pulled the rug from under him and left him out to dry. And I think that's the kind of guy he is. And I mean, you look last season's sales this season already. Coney's gone. I think the whole thing with Asprilla is that if possibly they're just waiting for that sale, whoever it could be, to get someone. But what I will say is I don't trust the Pozos. I thought the comment is a great question from Dan, and I think that observation made about the lack of interest after the potential for getting a new ground was. There's a lot, I think, in that. It's just very underwhelming. What I would say about a week ago, I was really concerned, and I still have concerns. But having listened to the really excellent Tom Cleverley interview on Three Counties Radio, and if anyone hasn't heard it, it was really good. He speaks so well, and he's a smart young man, and he seemed very, very optimistic in a couple of youngsters in, or not youngsters, I'm sorry, a couple of players, and I don't know whether that's loans or purchases, but he said again, a number 9 and another centre-back. So I'm cautiously optimistic, and I think, again, as Dino said, yesterday was a decent performance. Millwall's a bloody tough ground to go to, and I think had we not got the late winner, we might have had a slightly different conversation today, because to blow a 2-0 lead would have been reminiscent of the last couple of years, but overall, they deserve the win. Millwall, let's be fair, Millwall were, for me, hit the woodwork twice and should have had a penalty. I was amazed that wasn't given, but it wasn't. And sometimes you need a bit of luck, and maybe this is our year for a bit of luck, because we haven't had a lot of luck the last few years. So, the whole Elton thing, I'd love to see him back. I think many of us would. But, just so underwhelmed with Pozo. Great stadium, great training facilities and all that stuff. But on the pitch, the lack of investment is shocking, and really would be nice if there was a chance for him to sell up and go. But anyway, back to you, Pidge.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, mate. I'm expecting a little bit more from the share issue, to be fair. Just shout out to Tanya, by the way, one of my best mates. The other few are on here. But I think the share issue thing was a bit disappointing, but did anyone really think we were going to get 17.5 million from it? 3.5 or whatever it is pretty decent in itself, but how much of that? Woody's watching as well. Hey, Woody.
Oh,
Mr. Woody. Yay. So I think going forward, Pozzos need to, if they're going to invest it, they need to invest it in the club. The people have put their hard-earned money into that. As long as it goes to the club, that's and I mean the club. I don't mean the owners. I mean the investment into either youth system or anything. Stuart Higgins said the share issue is balancing bollocks. He's probably right, actually. Woody's saying, hi guys, hi everyone, 3 points on the board. Good start. Absolutely, Woody. Well done, mate. Absolutely amazing having you here as always. Big Nelly's once again, how much to bump him off. Jugs Duxbury is 800 to 900,000 per annum. Yeah, we know that, mate. It's just Big Dave's on as well. Evening, Dave. He said we should sign Jamal Lowe. I said that for years, mate. But he's at Wednesday now. Yeah, Rooney had a good start, didn't he? All these people. Sorry, with a 20 mournful evening, mate. Anyone with a 24% win record going to Plymouth, he's hardly managing, Leeds, is he? So
no.
Portsmouth had a good result as well, to be fair. That was a bloody excellent result for them. Right, okay, it is, mate. Absolutely. Sorry, mate. I was jumping there. Right, okay, let's get straight on to the next topic. Mr. Spike Francis says, when will Elton keep his promises and be more involved and meet the owners? He might have done already, but we don't really know that. Dino, what do you reckon, mate?
What can you say? We don't know until we see him, do we? I'd love to have him come and help us, because we really do need it. I'd love him to stick to his word, but we know as much as anyone else, really, don't we? We don't know. Like you said, Pidge, he might have had the meeting. We honestly don't know. I can't really say much more than that. I'd love him to come. I think we do need someone like that to get back involved, maybe bring it together with the fans, put us all back in, it'd be a genius move by the Pozzos if he did. He'd get them back on track maybe and help us out. But, can't say much more than that, really, I'm afraid. I, like any fan, would love to have him back and help us out and have a bit of, put a bit of money in it, be more involved. But it's up to Elton, really, isn't it? It's up to him, and we don't know, I'm afraid. Can't say much more than that.
Right, moves before we get on. Hello, Lucy. There we go. She's got the shout out.
Sorry, I've been waiting myself laughing seeing that.
I know, because I mean, a bloody out. Look, what a horrible brother. Look, shocking behaviour. Right, yeah, moves.
Sonia, knock it off.
Crazy women. Crazy. Right, yeah, moves with the Elton. Yeah, enough of this craziness. But with the Elton thing, mate, you know, is he being stopped, or is it him taking a step back and waiting? I mean, we've heard rumours that he was looking at a consortium. Obviously, that's gone quiet as well. But what do you reckon, mate?
I think it's both. I think it's a bit of both. We could be looking at a big problem. Elton's shot. I think on one side of it, you've got to look at the Pozzos are trying to say, let us get on with it. And on the flip side, you've got Elton suddenly piping up all over the place saying, for God's sake, will you go and sign this player? Will you go and sign that player? You needed one in this position, one in that position. And I think they've actually got the ump with him right now, which is why we're seeing all these little things pop up, like these like the meme thing that's done the rounds from Elton saying, for God's sake, will you go and sign a bloody striker? I've got to be honest, that was hilarious. I got sent one on Friday. I was just cacking myself laughing.
Yeah.
You know, I do believe something has gone on. I do believe there's been a conversation behind closed doors, and it's not gone the way that both parties wanted. So we're now in a bit of a sticky wicket. Well, I think we've been on a sticky wicket for a while, but now it's been
years,
made
mate.
Clear. Yeah, it's been made clear more than ever. Guten Tag, Bjorn. Guten Tag. He's here. The half German, half English Euro 2024 person. Love him.
Gets my vote.
Yeah. But yeah, I think he's. Yeah, but Stuart, it's whether Duxbury really listens to him now. That's the problem. I think this is it's more of a problem now than what it has been in the last couple of years. You know, when he said at the concert that we were all at, and he said it loud as anything, and the Pozzos heard it. You know, I am coming back on board after I've finished touring. Well, that hasn't happened. So they've either put a block on that, or Elton was doing it to try and G us up. But like others have said, you know, Duxbury said he wanted to back. We were going to back Rob Edwards. We didn't, and yeah, we sacked him. And now look at it. It's more crazy. So yeah, there's way more to this than meets the eye, and we are not being told anything. We're only being told little snippets.
Little snippets there, Darren. We've been told the information-wise anyway. You know, it's some things have gone cooling down, some things haven't, mate. I mean, what do you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, over in Canada, I don't get to hear anything, but I think it would really freshen the whole club up if we did have a change of ownership. I mean, and I think most fans still would be very grateful for what the Pozzos have done, without a doubt. But it's like, it feels like it's run its course. It's like just becomes stale now, you know, and it'd be a shame for it to end toxic, but it could, the way that a lot of things like that go. I'd love to see Elton back, that whole consortium thing. I mean, I remember the days, you know, when he turned up at Vicarage Road. I remember I was with Mick. We were in it was the old family stand then, you know, in its early years, I guess. And he was sitting in the old days, it was that old bench off to the right of the tunnel. And he was sitting there in his cloth cap, and it was a great time. And you could see the passion in the man then, you know. It's just, I don't know. It's out, you know, it's out. The sad thing is as well, it's completely, as fans, it's completely out of our reach. All we can do is observe. And I would just love to see a peaceful but respectful change in leadership. Say thanks to Pozzo, he goes away. Elton and maybe a bunch of his American wealthy friends come along, and we have a little mini Wrexham run or something like that. Who knows? But yeah. The thing is, they kept saying financially the club is now supposedly debt free. So, but I don't know. I just don't trust them. That's the saddest thing. I don't trust our owners, and I wish I did. But I think, like a lot of fans, I would trust them a hell of a lot more if I could see some action rather than silence. And it's radio silence all the time from that man. So, what do you think, Pip?
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. We need some sort of clarity. Either the asset stripping, like a lot of people are saying, you know, are they going to sell up? What's going to happen? I'd love to have the rumor of the Elton get a consultant from America to, you know, and all the anti-Joshua stuff that was floating around at one time to come true. I don't think it will now, but let's as long as it's beneficial to the club, that's all I care about. You know, if they've lost interest, which, you know, they've been here, they've plunged enough money into it. It's from when they took over to now, they have improved the club, but probably as though it's the market that they had back in 2012, 2013 sort of time is totally different to what it is now. You can't just go out and get loads of players off of Udinese and a few South American imports. It don't work like that anymore. It's the landscape has changed, so something's got to give. If they want to go, you know, just obviously they might be waiting for the right sale. If not, let's see what happens. But right, let's get straight on. Right, just shout out. Yeah, go on, Moobs. Sorry, mate.
Just a quick one. The other thing with Anthony Joshua, I don't see happening purely because he's gone and invested in the Alpine F1 team. He's now got a foothold in that. So, yeah, that whole thing with AJ, unless he's really got enough money, I don't see happening at all, because he was interviewed on the grid at one of the Grand Prix, and he said, "Yeah, I'm looking forward to this adventure." Yeah,
it's on the ropes then. So we say, mind the pun. Right. Yeah, Bjorn is in the UK, by the way. He says, I'm in the UK. That's clarified that one. Cheers, Bjorn. Dan says, always thankful for him, but we can't expect Elton to fund us now. Even he would be a pauper by Championship owner standards these days. Consortiums would be great. Stuart saying the club's been toxic since 2019. I can't really disagree with that. Woody, Elton told them to get as much money out of the club, so Elton can get it cheap. He did not want to pay 160 million. Elton wants it for around 100 million. Aidan, Potzos have done their experiment and we reached the highest we could get, but now they realise we're not going anywhere and they don't care anymore. MK Dons are going to be the media's babies. Halsey, evening Halsey, says, I remember Sarah and John arriving at the Vic in a helicopter a good few years ago. That was Potts bought Watford for 500,000 bastards. Some Stuart. Halsey, surely Dino must know the Turkish consortium. Surely, mate, we haven't actually asked him yet. And also, he's on a sofa. He's not actually on a bed. Are you on a sofa today, mate?
Yeah, they let me out on good behaviour for an hour. On the sofa.
Comfort's number one priority, mate. Definitely. Right. Okay. Let's get straight.
He went down Dream's beds.
I know, mate. Right. I've got a night shift today, so I've got to speed through these boys. Right. Mr. Josh Simmons. He says potential spree of replacements. Hope he doesn't go, but if he does, what's the plan basically? Dino. It looks like obviously Kleb's interview pre-Millwall saying that he's not in the plans. He's pretty much done this, signed, sealed and delivered that he's going. But what's the plan going forward with this, mate? Do you think we're going to get any more replacement, get a spree replacement, or there's targets? We spoke about this yesterday. I know Sir Dunk and Major Tom added a few tidbits about this, but what do you think?
No, well, we mentioned him, didn't we? Jamal Lowe. How the hell have Sheffield Wednesday got him and we haven't? Is Sheffield Wednesday a bigger club than us? They might be, but surely we could have prized Jamal Lowe away to come to us. Surely we've got better things going forward. But no, we're not going to get a replacement. There's no chance. We've got, who's that lad we got from Celtic? Nia Strike. Is it better or something? Obviously he's been bought in. Obviously he's been bought in for a Spilliers replacement. I think I don't know much about him. I'm like you lot. I've watched highlights. He looks, what can I say? He looks an interesting player. Again, he looks a bit like a Sprillier for me. Don't get me wrong. I love a Sprillier. I can't speak highly of him. He's not the finished article. I still think he's a few years behind. I think he can become a top player, but this player looks exactly like him a bit skillful, but he looks a bit looks a bit light, let's say. He looks like he could get bullied a bit for me. He's got the skill, he's got the pace, but I think he's going to have to hit the weights a little bit and toughen up. But as for getting a replacement, no, we're definitely not. We're not getting anyone in now. Like I said, I really want to sign Nat Cooper. I really hope we get him in just before the end. We could do if he's experienced, but besides that, I'm afraid, unless it's loans, I can't see anyone else coming in, which is a shame because Cleverly needs a lot of help. If we're to have a good season, I'm hoping to do a lot better than last season, maybe finish 10th. I reckon it'll be a good season, but Cleverly needs some help, and he definitely needs at least 3 more players, maybe 4. And then, maybe a chance of playoffs. But until then, we possibly finish 10th, 11th, halfway up the table with this squad because we can't keep doing what we did yesterday, and we won't keep getting away with it because we will come against better opposition. And don't get me wrong, Millwall hit the woodwork twice, and their keeper was poor for that first goal. That was shocking. But I don't want to take it away from a great result. I'll shut up now. Don't be too negative, but that's what I'd say on that.
What do you reckon, Moobs? Connor's in the room, by the way.
Connor's in the room. Okay, that's nice. No, Connor's in the room. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying. It's going to be a tough one. If Cleverly's actually said that Aspria's gone, then okay, it'd be nice to know where he's heading. That's one thing I wouldn't mind knowing where he's actually heading off to. But we do need a reinforcement. It's not. I'll tell you what. I'm just not going to be surprised if Cleverly picks up the phone and phones up Manchester United. It's his old club. They love him up there still, and I just would not count out somebody, not on a permanent deal, but maybe there's someone up there that can play on the wing or something that's available for a loan that's decent, and they'll say, you know what, go down there for a season. I could just see that happening. Apart from that, I don't really know who we could go and get. I really, really don't. It's going to be the problem is with the window because when does the window close? It's start of September.
Yeah, 1st of September, isn't it?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
On that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the longer this Aspria saga drags out, the worse it's going to get for us. Because if there is someone out there we can get, that club will then double the valuation of that player. 3 to 4 weeks left. Okay, so there's still some leeway to be done. But if Aspria is going to go, then ideally you need him gone within the next 10 days, really, because then you've got enough time. Hey, Tudor Army. Sorry, wrong bit. Sorry. He needs to be done within the next 10 days to give Cleverly enough time to say, right, you give me some of that money, and I'll go and sort a player. That's the only way it's going to go.
Yep. Darren.
Yeah, I do think Asprey is going to go. I think that's a definite. The fact that Tom sort of made it clear that he's not in his plans at the minute. I think the words he used are he's back in the building and training, but training with it. I think it was within the gym or something. But I know we've been linked to a younger lad at Palace. So there was talks of that in the media. Yeah. I mean, you never know, right? You just never know. But I think somebody just made a comment a minute ago as well. Ian was on about Dave, because I can never say Jack for cats. He's whatever his bloody name is. But
look, from Saturday, mate, you can call him the Georgian Rabbage after that free kick.
There we go. Back already.
That's a premonition of the Stoke free kick back in '95, mate. That's all I can say. Go on, carry on.
Yeah, no, but I think that's the big thing for me as well is, number one, I believe Tom really does feel he's going to get 2 players in. Number 2, we do not want to lose Dave, right? And I don't think, because it was interesting, I noticed for the lineup on Saturday, it was a pretty physical midfield. And in fairness, Sissoko, it was a signing I was surprised with. I thought he had a very good game, other than when he lost possession and they bloody scored from that. But and also Loser. I mean, are we going to keep him? I just, because of my lack of trust of the Pozos, and I don't hate them or anything like that. I just don't bloody trust them. I just would hate it if they were to do a sort of a fire sale right at the end of the window, get some money for Loser, get some money for Dave, and then all of a sudden they've gone, and Tom's got from now to January with the existing squad. Seen that happen at a couple of clubs over the years, and it does happen. And that'd be a travesty, because I think the irony is we've got the best manager we've had for several years at Watford, and it was really down to financial restrictions that they had to really offer him the job. They've got an absolute gem on their hands, in my opinion. But I say it because every time I hear players talk about Cleverley, they've got nothing but admiration and respect for the man. I think he's got a real togetherness at the club, and he needs to be backed. And the irony is, these fools who, to me, it's a failed business model. They've got this gem here. All it needs is we're not talking stupid money, but like 3 or probably 4, like Dino said, 3 or 4 players invested for a reasonable sum of money. A couple of them may be loans, and you could have a top 8 squad there, because we've got some decent players in this team. And I really like the fact that he does things like Quedwo Bar. He's been trying him up front, and he's got that ability to improve players, which is something not a lot of managers do. So I think we've got a bit of a gem on our hands, and I just want them to support him. Our first free kick.
He's close. He's very close. Big Nelly, you are very close there, mate.
That's during the war, ain't it?
Yeah, during the war.
But that's the thing. I mean, we were saying this last year, when the topic of Ward Prowse came up. Every club, they're on the training field 4 days a week. Every club should have a dead ball specialist. They're supposed to be professional footballers. And I started an argument with my mates in our chat group. I said, if you're a professional footballer, if you are not 2-footed, because we saw a few 1-footed players playing for England at the Euros, you should be on a lower salary than a guy who can play with 2 feet. And the reason I say that is you've got far more flexibility. You can stick them on the left or on the right. But you've got one of the lads I play with is from Brazil. He said as a child, all the kids at school were forced to play with 2 feet. You have a dominant foot, but you learn how to control and, Anyway, I'll show.
Well, the thing is, though, mate, not everyone's got a Darren Baisley in their side, have they? So, I'll tell you what, the best 2-footer I've seen, one of the best 2-footers was David Ginola. He was absolutely brilliant with both feet.
Absolutely.
I mean, if he had any ambition, he would have come and played for Watford, but that's another story altogether, mate. Right, okay, let's get straight on with this, mate. We need to find out what happened on with the women's games today. So let's get on with it, mate. Ready?
Yeah. My face said it all.
Okay, right.
Oh, yes, it's that time. We're back again. It's another year, another season, and oh, God, it just really doesn't get any better, does it? Doesn't matter if it's the men's team or the women's team. I know the men won yesterday, but yeah, a few of us today decided we wanted a road trip down to Portsmouth. Can honestly say that was possibly the biggest regret, and that was before the game had even started, because we all got stuck in traffic for about 2.5 hours in this heat. Not nice. Thank you, M25. You are very, very not welcome. But when we did get there, it was not a great day out. The conditions certainly played its part. Yes, Woody, it was a sad day indeed. The girls, unfortunately, went down to a 5-1 defeat to Portsmouth, who have taken their place in this season's Women's Championship. As you all know, we unfortunately were relegated last season from the Championship back to National League South in the women's tier. So we're back in Tier 3. It's going to be a tough one this season, guys. I'm not going to lie. There are a heck of a lot more teams looking to get out of the division now. They've all strengthened across the board, and Watford have strengthened. I can confirm. I can talk about one player that has signed. Yes, that's right, one player. You can see my finger there. It's just gone a bit wayward with the camera lens. So we do have a new player. We do have one new player we can talk about, which is Anna Philby from Crystal Palace Women. She is a cracking centre midfielder. I saw her today. She came over afterwards and introduced herself, which is really, really nice of her to do that, because they don't, the players don't have to, new players especially, don't have to do that. But she did, and she's a really, really nice girl. She's great to talk to and has got some great attacking threat and can also play a bit of defence as well, which I think we might really need right now. Yes, sure, indeed, it is only pre-season, but it is quite worrying because the girls' confidence looks shot to bits still from last season, which is extremely worrying because they're trying to flush it out your system. Trying to get it out your system is bloody hard. So yeah, Woody, we've got to do better in the league, mate. We know that. So unfortunately, I can't talk about any of the other new signings because the club haven't announced them. And if I start talking about them now, I will be getting messages saying, "What the hell do you think you're playing at?" But I can confirm there's at least five more players joining the Watford ranks for the women's team this season. Some very good players are joining the ranks, so hopefully it will not all be doom and gloom this season. We'll have some more positive moments, positive weeks. As we all know, last season was very, very tough to take. But as always, we are back this season. We have had it finally confirmed, although I had to go and find out myself. We are back playing at Wealdstone. Don't ask me what I went and did. No, I can't keep quiet about that one. I can't keep quiet about where we're playing this season, Woody. But I think I know what you're talking about anyway. Yeah, we are officially playing the home games back at Wealdstone. They are on our new landlords for the season, or landlords again this season. So we look forward to welcoming everyone over there. First home game for the girls is actually in a couple of weeks' time on the bank holiday weekend. So if you're a little bit stuck for things to do, bring the family over. They are going to be playing a Billericay Town women's team. It should be a very entertaining game. But officially, our season does start next week, as a few of them have posted up, and we make the journey to play #United. Now, you might be wondering, where the hashtag play? Well, we've actually done a bit of homework because we're not getting much help from other areas, and they play at Averley FC. Now, I actually went to Averley last season with Hemel Hempstead Town Football Club on the men's side. So this is a cracking little stadium. It's down just around the Dartford Tunnel area. It's, like I say, a brilliant stadium. It's only about 2 years old, the stadium. They've had it recently. It's only been built in the last few years. It's a cracking setup, great facilities, plenty of seating, plenty of parking at the stadium. So if you're stuck for something to do next week, it's a 2 o'clock kickoff for the first game of the season down at Averley FC. They've got a massive clubhouse with a great bar, refreshments and everything. So you don't have to worry about trying to get food and that because they've got plenty there. So it'll be great to see if you live in that area. So if you're thinking we can't get down, well, put it like this: persuade you. If you're thinking about it, just say to your wife, "Do you want to go shopping for 2 hours at Lakeside or Bluewater?" Drop them off and then drive round and come to the game and then go and pick them up afterwards. If anyone asks where you got that idea from, don't tell them you got it from me because I'll probably get into trouble. But yeah, it'd be great to see as many fans down there to cheer the girls on because they really do need it. It was tough last season. It was really tough to take. We have lost, unfortunately, a few players. I'll say a few. It feels like a heck of a lot. The girls from Arsenal returned to Arsenal. Harley Bennett, who was defence last season, she's joined Bristol City. Charlotte Fleming, who was a centre midfielder, she's joined Ipswich Town. They're going to be a team to watch this season against us. They're really going for it. We lost a couple of players to retirement as well, so it's really been a tough one to take for everyone. But as always, please, guys, if you can, we'd love to see as many people out there supporting the girls this year, more so than ever. Let's send a little message to the Pozzos. Send a little message that the girls are worth backing. I can confirm, Dan, I just saw your comment. Dre is officially back with us. She was looking to leave. I can confirm that she was possibly going to be moving on, But there has been a change. I believe there's been a change of heart. And she played today in the second half. She came over at the end and saw us, had a quick little chat. We said hello to her, and first thing we said to her was, "We thought you were leaving." And she just went, "Well, I am full of surprises." So yeah, she is 100% at the moment staying with us, unless something else happens. If it does, we will post it up in the Watford FC Women's Supporters Group. And it will be posted on here as well on TMA. So yeah, please do. And just remember also, the non-league is back as well. Non-league has roared back into life. If you're a Hemel fan, it's more frustrating than watching paint dry right now, because my blinking my, how on earth Hemel and Watford seem to do things the bloody hard way. Because Hemel went 2-0 down yesterday at home to Salisbury, who joined them this year in the National League South for the first time, and they battled back to a 2-2 draw, talking about doing things the sodding hard way. Still haven't learned from last season. But as always, non-league needs us as well. If you're not going to a game, you've got a non-league team down the road, go and support them, go and help them, help that club stay alive. We need the non-league, because without that, English football does not survive. And I'll leave you with that, because it's getting dark and I need a light on in here, I think.
All right, cheers, boys and girls. Right, I've got to shoot now. I've got a night shift, so I've got to run off. But just a massive shout out to all of you watching. Thank you ever so much. Thursday night instead of Friday next week, we'll preview the Stoke game. Because I'm on different shifts, so I won't be doing a Friday. So yeah, look out for that Thursday night. All the other platforms and also there we go. You've seen the light. Personal page, if I make sure it's not on private this time. So yeah, we will see you then. And a season ticket for the women is only £45. Perfect.
Yes, I forgot about that. Yes, get your season tickets as well.
Right, guys. We've got to shoot, so thank you ever so much. As always, we've been beautiful. You've been TMA. It's good night from the birthday boy.
It's good night from Moobs.
It's good night from John McLean. That way.
He's silent but violent.
It's just